In this video, I'm about to show you 10 US mayonnaise brands you should never touch, as well as 5 you're much better off with, starting with number 10. Miracle Whip. Let's be honest, Miracle Whip isn't even true mayonnaise. It's a mayonnaise-style dressing that uses soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup, vinegar, mustard, spices, and a whole lot of sweet tanginess. Unlike real mayonnaise, which relies on eggs, oil, and vinegar or lemon juice, Miracle Whip leans into sugar and spices to mask the lack of authentic creamy richness. In fact, mayo purists on mayonnaise ranking sites straight up brand it as a salad dressing, not mayo at all. The second you spread this on bread, you notice it's sweeter and sharper than your traditional mayo, almost like someone tried to make ketchup taste savory. Many people have fond childhood memories of Miracle Whip sandwiches, but that nostalgia doesn't change the fact that it doesn't belong in the Mayo Hall of Fame. If you want creamy, rich, egg-forward flavor, save this for fruit salad dressing, not your sandwich. Number 9. Kraft Real Mayonnaise. Let's talk about Kraft Real Mayonnaise. Yes, it's been around for nearly a century, first introduced in 1930, but longevity doesn't equal quality. Kraft's mayo is widely distributed and super affordable, sure, but that accessibility comes with some downsides. It uses soybean oil and stabilizers that create a consistent, uniform texture that spreads easily. But here's the thing. It often tastes a bit too mild, lacking the rich tang and egg flavor that good mayonnaise should have. And when you spread it next to a premium or even mid-range artisan mayo, you realize this one almost disappears on your palate. It's sometimes described as having a gelatinous or stiff texture with a slightly sweet note that doesn't harmonize well with classic sandwich flavors. If you're trying to elevate your food, Kraft's basic profile just won't cut it. This isn't the worst condiment ever, but for mayonnaise that's supposed to add flavor, it falls flat more often than not. Number 8. Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise. Here's a brand that everyone thinks is good simply because it's everywhere. Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise has been a household name for ages, and yeah, it's smooth and creamy. But let's peel back the curtain a bit. It's made with soybean oil, added sugars, and artificial stabilizers to keep it shelf-stable and consistent. The result? A product that technically qualifies as mayonnaise, but the flavor profile is kind of bland? Too many people reach for Hellmann's by default, assuming it's the ultimate mayo. Yet when you compare it side by side with fresher, higher quality options, it tastes like a baseline condiment. There's nothing inherently harmful about Hellmann's, but in a ranked mayo world, it's the mid-range that gets the job done, not the one that makes you sit up and say, "Now this is good." In 2025 taste tests, critics even pointed out that light or low-fat variants of Hellmann's suffer from watery, diluted texture. Another reminder that the name alone doesn't guarantee excellence. Bottom line, it's fine in a pinch, but not worthy of mayo superstardom. Number 7. Heinz Mayonnaise. Heinz used to be a ketchup powerhouse, but when it comes to mayo, this brand's performance is underwhelming. Gathered opinions from condiment communities suggest Heinz mayonnaise has been less reliable in recent years, with availability sometimes fluctuating and consumers noticing differences when the product does show up on shelves. Even though Heinz mayo carries name recognition, it often lacks the rich, creamy depth that traditional mayonnaise lovers crave. The texture can be unremarkable, and flavor veers toward average. For a product positioned as a recognizable condiment, that's a big letdown. When compared with neighbor favorite mayos like Hellmann's or Duke's, Heinz tends to fade into the background not because it's bad, but because it simply doesn't deliver the punch or personality you want from mayo. If you're paying for mundane, you may as well make your own. Number 6. McCormick Mayonnaise. McCormick is a massive name in spices and condiments, but their standard mayonnaise doesn't quite live up to the reputation its other products enjoy. In many formulations, it leans heavily on cheap oils, stabilizers, and processing agents that create a product that's consistent but not particularly exciting. Combining that with a slightly greasy mouthfeel and a profile that doesn't strongly assert itself in dishes leaves this mayo feeling a bit like a filler condiment rather than a flavor enhancer. This isn't to say McCormick mayo is inedible, people do use it, but it's one of those brands that never elevates your food. Whether on sandwiches, in salads, or in ALS, it tends to recede into the background instead of contributing a meaningful character. For a brand with such a strong name in spices, you'd hope for a more noticeable flavor profile. In the mayo hierarchy, it's one of the more forgettable options. Number 5. Best Foods Mayonnaise. Next up is Best Foods Mayonnaise. Now, before you get excited, don't confuse it with its sister brand, Hellmann's Best Foods, is primarily sold west of the Mississippi, and its formula has some quirks that make it inconsistent. While it's marketed as a premium brand, certain batches lean heavily on soybean oil and stabilizers to maintain texture across hot warehouse shipments and grocery shelves. What happens when you spread it on a sandwich? Sometimes it's creamy and rich, other times slightly oily and lacking the tangy egg-forward punch you expect from classic mayo. This unpredictability makes it a gamble for your culinary creations. On your BLT or chicken salad, flavor might feel muted, texture slightly slick, and overall impact underwhelming. If you want consistently reliable taste, Best Foods can disappoint not because it's harmful, but because it rarely delivers the wow factor you hope for in a quality mayonnaise. Number 4. Reduced fat or light mayonnaise. Reduced fat or light mayonnaise might sound like a smart choice, but here's the reality. When you remove fat, you also remove flavor. To compensate, manufacturers add sugar, gums, stabilizers, and artificial flavoring to mimic the creamy texture of real mayo. The result is a product that looks like mayonnaise and spreads like mayonnaise, but tastes nothing like it. There's a watery, artificial texture that refuses to give you the rich mouthfeel of traditional mayo. On a sandwich or in a salad, you're essentially spreading a pale imitation across your food. Light or reduced fat variants might appeal to diet-conscious consumers, but if flavor is your priority, this is one of the brands you should skip entirely. Number 3. Vegan or egg-free mayonnaise imitations. Egg-free or vegan mayonnaises have gained popularity for dietary reasons, but let's get real. Many of these products are highly processed. They rely on modified starches, gums, vegetable oils, and artificial flavorings to replicate the creamy, tangy mouthfeel of traditional mayonnaise. Some vegan mayos do a decent job, but a large number fail to provide authentic richness or balance. Instead, they leave behind a slightly synthetic taste, a textural inconsistency, and a flavor that feels like a compromise. If your goal is to enjoy true mayonnaise, these imitations will disappoint. They are not inherently bad for health-conscious diets, but they do not belong on your list of flavorful sandwich enhancers. Number 2. US version of Kewpie mayo. Kewpie mayo from Japan is a legendary condiment-rich egg yolks, subtle sweetness, and incredible umami depth. But the US warehouse versions sold at Costco or big box stores often alter the original formula to reduce costs. They dilute the recipe with water, soybean oil, sugar, and yeast extracts to hit price points without maintaining the authentic flavor. The result is a jar that looks like Kewpie but lacks the richness, tang, and umami punch of the original. On your sandwich or in a salad, it's noticeably thinner, sweeter, and less balanced. If you thought you were buying the Japanese classic, this version will quietly disappoint you every time. Don't be fooled by the label. Flavor matters more than branding. Number 1. Cheap mayonnaise packets. And finally, the worst offender. Those ultra-cheap mayonnaise packets or low-cost jars. These are often seen in fast food chains, cafeterias, or budget supermarkets. They rely almost entirely on cheap vegetable oils, stabilizers, preservatives, and artificial flavorings. Texture is thin or rubbery, flavor is muted or artificial, and it leaves your sandwich tasting sad and unremarkable. You'll notice immediately that it lacks tang, richness, or any egg-forward notes. These mayos are cheap, yes, but your taste buds pay the price. Avoiding these brands is the easiest way to instantly upgrade any sandwich, salad, or homemade dressing. However, not all is at a loss, as here are 5 brands you can genuinely count on. Number 5. Blue Plate Mayonnaise. Blue Plate is a classic American brand that has been around for decades. It's creamy, thick, and has a subtle tang that makes sandwiches, potato salads, and dressings taste alive. Unlike industrial brands, it uses more authentic egg content and avoids overwhelming additives. The flavor profile is approachable yet satisfying. On a BLT, you'll notice the difference immediately. A richer mouthfeel, a slightly egg-forward taste, and a balance that makes the sandwich feel complete. Blue Plate is not flashy, but it's reliable, consistent, and way better than generic supermarket options. Number 4. Sir Kensington's Classic Mayonnaise. Sir Kensington's is a modern favorite with a clean ingredient list: cage-free eggs, sunflower oil, vinegar, and a touch of mustard seed. It doesn't try to hide behind additives or stabilizers. Texture is luxuriously creamy. Flavor is bright and tangy, and it spreads perfectly on bread or wraps. It also stands up well in dressings or aioli applications. For people who care about quality ingredients and taste, Sir Kensington's is one of the few brands that delivers a gourmet experience without being pretentious. Number 3. Trader Joe's Organic Mayonnaise. Trader Joe's Organic Mayo is simple, clean, and surprisingly flavorful. Made with organic eggs and oils, it's fresher than most mass-market options. It has a creamy consistency that spreads beautifully and a tang that actually enhances salads, sandwiches, and dips. Unlike industrial brands, it doesn't leave behind a greasy or artificial aftertaste. For an affordable, high-quality, and widely available option, Trader Joe's Organic Mayonnaise is a solid choice for everyday use. Number 2. Primal Kitchen Avocado Oil Mayonnaise. Primal Kitchen takes a healthier angle without sacrificing flavor. Using avocado oil instead of soybean oil, it's rich, creamy, and has a slightly buttery, savory taste. It's perfect for those who want flavor and texture without all the artificial stabilizers. On sandwiches, in dressings, or mixed with herbs, this mayo really shines. Unlike light or mass-market options, it actually tastes like something, rather than just filling space on your plate. Number 1. Duke's Mayonnaise. And finally, the number 1 safe choice? Duke's. The Southern favorite is famous for more egg yolks than most other brands, a creamy texture and tangy richness that transforms any dish. Duke's delivers flavor that's instantly recognizable and dependable. On sandwiches, burgers, or in potato salads, it brings a depth that mass-market brands simply cannot match. If you're only buying one mayonnaise brand to have in your kitchen, make it Duke's. It's consistently creamy, tangy, and fully earns the top spot.